y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I have the Multichrome collection releasing on January 27th from Leesha's Lacquers. These were sent to me for review, and this is a collection of two shifting metallic multichrome creams, two flaky multichromes, as well as a glitter topper. I will link Leesha's Lacquers storefront and social media down below. These were sent to me for review, and this is my first time trying this brand. I'll go ahead and get into the swatches. So first up is Scarab Crow, and this is one of the more metallic, creamy polishes. This one has a very predominantly teal color. It does have a little bit of shift to blue and purple and yellow right around the edges. You're mostly going to get that teal and then a hint of purple at angles or in different lighting. I tried to show you all of the shift there. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Scarab Crow swatched on my natural nail. So here is the first coat. I am swatching the mini bottles today, so that means that the stems are a little bit shorter and the brushes are a little bit smaller maybe. The formula on this one is a little bit on the thicker side. I just had to make sure that I got enough polish to go all over my nail. It wasn't hard to work with at all, but it did go on a little bit patchy and maybe a little bit streaky. So I'll let this dry and then come back in for a second coat. With these kind of polishes that do tend to leave brush strokes, I definitely recommend capping your tip before you get to your last coat. So here is the second coat. I'm going to go in for a nice thick second coat, and this does build this up quite a bit. You get more of that shift and more of that metallic. It's not quite opaque here though, so I will let this dry and then come back in for a third coat. If you wanted to, you could totally do just one coat over black and you'll get the same shift with less coats. So I'll let this dry and then come back in for my last coat. You can see I went ahead and capped the tip there. So here is the third and final coat. This one went on much smoother. I think this polish builds up better on itself than it does on a naked nail, if that makes any sense. This third coat for sure brings this one completely opaque. I think Scarab Crow is going to be amazing for stamping over black, not so much over lighter colors. So here's a look at the completed mani before top coat. You can just see purple right around the edges there. It does dramatically shift depending on the lighting. I didn't have any sun today, so here it is at an angle underneath my artificial lighting once more. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle. You can see the purple there right around the edges. So next up is Good Morning Glory, and this is my top pick of the collection. This is a very vibrant blurple. I think it leans more blue than purple. You will get some of that purple shift around the edges. This one is a little more subtle, and it also has some flakiness to it. So I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Good Morning Glory swatched on my natural nail. So here is one easy coat. This one did go on a little bit smoother than the other. It is quite sheer though, and it does have a tendency to leave those brush strokes. I also got a little bit of maybe some teal shift in here as well, maybe some shimmer. Really, really pretty. So I'll let this dry and then come back in for the second coat. So here is my second coat. I'm going to go in for a nice thick second coat here. Again, you could do this at one coat over black and get all of that shift. A lot more of the blue than the purple over black, I think. So this second coat does build it up really well. It's still just shy of being opaque though, so I will let this dry and then come back in for a third coat. So here is my third and final coat, and this is going to bring this one completely opaque. It is super bright on the nails. I think Good Morning Glory, again, is going to be good for stamping over black, but not so much over lighter colors. Here is a look at the completed mani before top coat. So this one may need a good top coat to help bring out some of that shimmer. It does dry down just a tiny bit dull. Here's a view from another angle underneath my artificial lighting. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle. So next up is Glass to Meet You, and this is one of the more flaky multichrome polishes. So this is in a navy, I believe, jelly base with a lot of cool tone with some warm tone ultrachrome flakies in there. So you're going to get a good mix of different shades going on. I tried to show you every angle that I could. So I'll show you a quick brush shot, and I'll show you how Glass to Meet You swatched on my natural nail. So here is one easy coat. This one did go on nice and smooth. It definitely has a black or deep navy jelly base, so it's going to take a bit to build that up. You just want to be mindful of where the flakes are going. Just get them nice and spread out on the nail. So I'll let this dry and then come back in for my second coat. So here is my second coat. I'm going to go in for a nice thick second coat again just to build that jelly base up a bit. This does add a lot of depth and you get a ton more flakies, but it's not going to be opaque, at least not for me, in 2 coats. So I will let this dry and then come back in for a third. I love all of those small blue flakes. They just add so much depth to this polish. I hesitated there a bit just to make sure that I was filming, but this is my third coat. Again, a bit of a thicker coat, but 3 coats for sure brings this one completely opaque. This one has very cool tones as opposed to the next Multichrome Flaky Polish, which has more of the warmer tones. So here's a look at the completed mani before top coat. Those flakes are going to add a bit of texture. You'll want a nice, good, glossy top coat to help smooth those out. These flakies are going to look awesome matte as well. So here's a view from underneath my artificial lighting at an angle. So this is a very deep, deep, dark color with pops of those flakies. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more with a matte top coat under my artificial lighting. So the next multi-chrome polish is a Rainbow Road, and this is the one that has a bit of more warmer tones. It has purple flakes instead of blue and lots more of the red to gold shifting multi-chrome flakies. So I'll go ahead and try to show it to you at every angle. This one also seemed to have more flakes in it on the nail. The last one was a little bit more deeper. This one is a bit more full of those flakes. So here's a quick brush shot, and I'll show you how Rainbow Road swatched on my natural nail. So here is one easy coat. This one does seem to have that same black jelly base. So one coat goes on nice and smooth, if quite sheer, so I'll let this dry and then come back in for a second coat. So here is my second coat, again with a thicker second coat to help build up that jelly base and add a ton of those flakes. If you're a fan of Foul Play by Orly, this reminds me of that, but it has so much more flakes and they're a lot larger. So if you love that polish but want something more extra, this one is going to be perfect for you. 2 coats didn't bring this completely opaque, so again I'm going to go in for a nice thick third coat here, and this does bring this one completely opaque. I love how Rainbow Road looks matte as well. I do have a quick photo of that. Super fall appropriate, just an all-around gorgeous polish. So here's a look at the completed mani before top coat. Again, you'll want a nice, good, glossy top coat to help smooth those flakes out a bit. Here's a view from another angle underneath my artificial lighting. So this one has a ton of those flakes in there. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And then once more at an angle with matte top coat. So lastly today I have Opalescence, and this is the Multichrome Glitter Topper. So you can see there, this is very bright. It has a lot of the red to gold shifting multichromes as well as a few of the blue to green. So a nice mix in here, also several different sizes. I'll go ahead and show you a quick brush shot, and I'll show you how Opalescence swatched over white and black today. This is over Tux Polish's Onyx. So I'm going to do one nice thick coat here. You do get a ton of those glitters. You don't have to fish for them. You don't really have to work for them much at all. This is going to pop much more over a darker color as opposed to a white. So here I have Tux Polish's Pure, and my camera did kind of wash the glitters out a little bit, so I did have to adjust my lighting, but this is going to be beautiful over lighter colors. Over the white, it's very opalescent. It's a very beautiful, perfect name for this polish. Over a lighter color, I do recommend doing 2 coats as opposed to 1 just to get more oomph there. I'll go ahead and adjust my lamp there so maybe you can see it a little bit better. So super, super pretty, very spring appropriate. Here's a look at the completed mani over both white and black. Here's a view from another angle underneath my artificial lighting. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle with that matte top coat. The matte top coat really changes the vibe of this polish and brings it to something deep and vampy and gorgeous. So that wraps up my swatch and review of the Multichrome collection. These are coming on January 27th from Leesha's Lacquer. Again, I'll link her social media and storefront down below. If you'd like to see more photos, I do have those available on my blog at sloppyswatches.wordpress.com, or you can follow me on Instagram at sloppyswatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.